Thanks for watching, and welcome to a condensed overview of the key updates to the Town of Princeton's Draft 2042 Official Community Plan. In 2021, the town began the review and update of its official community plan to revisit long-range planning goals and policies. This updated OCP was a collaborative process that represents the community's vision for the next 20 years. We are pleased to share and review the key updates that have been made to the Draft 2042 OCP to gather community input. Please note that this is a high-level overview of the draft. You can find a longer version of this presentation, which provides a more in-depth review of all the changes and updates made to the Draft OCP, and you can find the full Draft OCP on the town's website, princeton.ca/p/OCP. You can also pick up a hard copy of the OCP at Town Hall. After this presentation, or once you've read through the Draft 2042 OCP, we ask that you take some time to complete a survey on the draft. You can complete the survey online at www.surveymonkey.com/r/Princeton Draft OCP. You can pick up a hard copy of the Draft OCP, this presentation, and survey at Town Hall. We ask that you submit hard copy surveys by email to planning@princeton.ca, or you can drop them off at Town Hall. Official community plans are used as a policy tool by municipal governments for land use planning. The OCP is the most important long-range planning document for the town as it guides future growth and land use by setting goals and policies that support decisions on topics like development, housing, parks and recreation, the economy, social issues, and the environment. The OCP guides other town strategies and plans. All future bylaws enacted by the town must be consistent with the OCP. A comprehensive review of the OCP has not been completed since 2008. A lot has happened since then around housing, transportation, the environment, and more. As Princeton has and continues to grow, the town has reviewed its OCP to ensure it reflects current values and priorities and prepares for challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. We may not see immediate impacts from this update. Over time, the OCP will guide decisions related to transportation, housing, land use, economic development, and other topics. For example, the OCP establishes goals and directions that help us build a more resilient community in the face of climate pressures and insecurity through directions and actions like wildfire protection policies and flood hazard policies that protect our community against future disasters by establishing stronger development guidelines and supporting mitigation strategies. It also includes policies that help encourage more housing types to diversify and increase our housing stock, leading to affordability. The OCP also outlines how our town will foster community partnerships, support culture and heritage, and provide services for those in need. The OCP is an important document that provides key directions on growth management, the environment, climate action, and emergency response. This has been a 2-year process, and the project has occurred over 3 phases with community engagement intertwined. We are currently at Engagement 2, reviewing the updates to the Draft OCP and gathering input through a community survey. Phase 1 engagement took place in the spring of 2022. Due to public health restrictions brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, all engagement opportunities during this phase were virtual, with take-home, hard copy options for those without access to technology. Key topics under discussion during the first round of engagement included the community vision, guiding principles, community issues, and community opportunities. Engagement opportunities in this phase included a community survey, a stakeholder workshop, 2 community workshops, take-home activity and comment forum, a staff workshop, and a design contest. The input we heard from the community allowed us to create the draft you see today. Input gathered from surveys, workshops, and take-home activities from over 300 participants suggested that the OCP vision is still relevant and identified areas for goals and policy additions or enhancements, as well as new development permit areas for multifamily housing and wildfire protection areas. It revealed the strengths and challenges our community faces and the priority and directions of our community. A full report of engagement results can be found on the project website, princeton.ca/p/OCP. So where can you find the draft 2042 OCP, and how is it different from the 2008 OCP? You can find a digital version of the draft 2042 OCP online on the town's website, princeton.ca/p/OCP. Hard copies are also available at Town Hall, 151 Vermilion Ave, Princeton, BC. Once the OCP is adopted, the final OCP will still remain on the town website and be available by hard copy. For ease of readability, the OCP has been divided into 8 parts. These include the planning process, community context, community vision and guiding principles, goals and policies, development permit areas, OCP administration, monitoring and evaluation, implementation, and schedules. While no major changes have been made to the draft OCP, there have been a number of revisions and updates based on community input, technical input, and best practice. To review the full presentation that reviews these changes in more detail, head to the project website www.princeton.ca/p/OCP. In this presentation, we will be taking a closer look at some of these highlighted key changes. We've given the OCP a bit of a facelift, enhancing readability and making it more user-friendly with updated branding, more visuals, and new Did You Know sections. The draft vision has remained relatively the same. This vision emerged out of discussions and workshop sessions with Council and the community in the 2008 plan and at a Council strategic planning session in 2021. Engagement so far has confirmed this vision with changes made only to enhance readability and strengthen key themes. Our guiding principles outline our community values and provide direction as to how we will realize our vision. Based on community engagement, we heard that the guiding principles developed in the 2008 planning process were still relevant and reflected current directions. No major changes were made. As you can see, blue represents the updated guiding principles found in the draft 2042 OCP, while orange the past principles found in the 2008 version. Each principle has been provided an icon to enhance readability of the document and given an action word to easily explain how each principle is and will be implemented. However, we would like to note that engaging and protecting the community has now become just protecting our community. Engagement policies have been taken out of this section and placed instead in fostering strong community partnerships. Further, visual quality and aesthetics has become encouraging nature and heritage-inspired design to better align with community wants on preserving a small mountain town identity. One change we've made to the OCP is the addition of new land use designations. These are found within Part 2, Community Context, on pages 20 to 22. These categories were developed with growth management in mind. These land use designations help to simplify the development planning process and includes a range of uses, densities, and forms that guide what type of land use should exist and where. These definitions describe residential land use as either rural, suburban, or urban. The rural designation is intended to support low-density residential uses, like single-family homes, on large properties with rural character that may or may not be serviced with a community water system and community sewer. The suburban designation is intended to support low to medium density residential uses like single-family homes or pedestrian and ground-oriented duplexes, triplexes, townhouses, or row homes that are serviced with a community water system and community sewer as evaluated on a case-by-case basis. The urban designation is intended to largely support medium and high-density residential uses like apartments and pedestrian and ground-oriented mixed-use developments that are serviced with a community water system and community sewer. Schedule B, our land use map found on page 95, has been updated to better visualize where these land use designations exist. This map shows exactly where rural, suburban, and urban development will happen in our community. It also includes which new density definition applies. These new density definitions, low, medium, and high density residential development, are a new addition to the OCP based on the approved DCC bylaw. This map has also been revised so that our zoning bylaw and OCP align. Princeton has seen a relatively steady population growth rate of approximately 3.8% over the past 10 years, and an annual growth rate of approximately 0.72% to 0.76%. Based on current projections, the population of the town of Princeton is anticipated to be 3,955 by 2042, with a higher but moderate annual growth rate of 1.5%. This means an additional 1,061 people will be living in the town by 2042. In Part 2 of the plan, on pages 18 to 26, you can find a brand new section on growth management. This section outlines Princeton's plan for sustainable and managed growth to 2042 based on population projections and residential, industrial, commercial, and institutional development needs that come with such growth. Focusing on growth management can help meet the needs of our community now and in the future. It helps us prioritize and plan for the future demands, wants, and needs of a growing population. This new growth plan provides guidance for decision-making around where future land uses and developments should be encouraged to ensure the needs of the population are met and the community continues to grow in a sustainable way. It focuses on a more equal distribution of population growth, concentrated commercial development in and around the town center, prioritization of industrial development within the business park, infill in key development nodes in and around the town center, a balance of infill and greenfield fairland development, and general encouragement of densification and redevelopment where appropriate. All of this is visualized in the updated Future Growth Management Map. This map outlines where new growth will be targeted and provides potential new areas for town boundary expansion based on community input. Revisions and updates have been made to the goals and policies section of the plan based on community input. We will take a closer look at some of the key changes that have been made. Adjusted definitions, low, medium, and high density, within residential designation policies have been applied based on the DCC bylaw approved by Council to help support and manage growth. High density residential policy is a new section that has been added to encourage increased density within the town center, within a 10-minute walk of the town center, and within the highway commercial designation. To meet the growing housing needs and demands of our community, special needs and affordable housing policies and accessory dwelling unit policies have been updated and added to. One example to highlight is the expansion of special needs and affordable housing policy B. You can see what has been added by the bolded text. These additions help to better support accessible housing and diversify our housing stock. Additionally, within the special needs and affordable housing policy section, and other policy sections within managing land use, the consideration of developing density bonusing programs has been added. Density bonuses offer new developments a level of density that surpasses the allowable floor area ratio in exchange for amenities or housing needed by the community. These amenities can include things like parks, bike lanes, and affordable housing. Density bonuses must be established in zoning bylaws. Including these supporting policies in our OCP provides direction for when the town updates our zoning bylaw and lays out pre-established community interests. To encourage housing in our town center and build complete, walkable neighborhoods, we've added mixed-use designation policies. These additions also help us strengthen our small town identity by focusing growth and new development within the established town center. This helps encourage new economic investment and promotes more efficient uses of land and infrastructure. New active transportation network policies, C to J, have been added to support the development of new pedestrian infrastructure and active transportation connections. You can find all of these new additions on page 46 to 47 of the Draft OCP. Tourism policies have been updated and added to the Supporting a Flourishing Economy section. These revisions better reflect the wants of our community, as tourism commercial was identified as the second most important need for Princeton in the next 20 years. One example to note is Tourism Policy I. This new addition arose directly from input found in the OCP survey that identified the want for more regulations related to short-term vacation residentials to address housing affordability and housing supply challenges. Investment policies have been expanded to encourage economic diversification and growth based on public visioning and input. To ensure that the necessary work to strengthen the relationship between Princeton and Princeton's Indigenous neighbors occurs, a section on Indigenous partnership policies has been created. These policies also help ensure the town's MOU with the Upper Similkameen Indian Band and Regional District of Okanagan-Similkameen and the town's MOU with the Vermilion Forks Métis Association are consistent with the OCP. New Indigenous culture and heritage policies have been added to celebrating our culture and heritage to better reflect the history of Princeton, the Similkameen people, and the Similkameen culture. Within protecting our community, we've updated our wildfire protection policies to better reflect the necessary measures needed to protect the community against wildfire disasters. We've also updated our flood hazard protection policies based on the 2021 Similkameen River Flood Mitigation Planning Report. Providing more year-round recreation opportunities for all ages was identified as a key community priority. We've added Recreation Policy G and Great Outdoors Policy D to help us achieve this desire. To better meet our community's wants, sense of place policies have been added and revised to better support the implementation of civic amenities and active transportation connections. Further, town center policies have been expanded to ensure the form and character of new development has a small town feel. We have revised 3 of our past development permit areas and added 3 new ones based on community and technical input as well as best practice. DPA 1 Town Center refers to properties within the town center and includes minor updates to better support good site design and building architecture in this area to promote revitalization and ensure a thriving, vibrant heart of the community that helps us maintain our small town identity. DPA number 2, Highway Corridor, refers to properties along Highways 3A and 5. This DPA has been updated to include more guidelines for site planning that support the development of pedestrian and active transportation. DPA number 3, Business Park, refers to properties within the business park. This is a brand new DPA that seeks to promote high-quality industrial development in the business park through site design, buffering, safety, and crime prevention. DPA number 4, Multifamily Residential, applies to all multifamily residential developments greater than 2 dwelling units within the town boundaries. This is a brand new DPA that was created from community input to ensure high-quality development form and character exists for new multifamily housing. DPA number 5, Environmentally Sensitive Area refers to all riparian areas and has been updated in accordance with provincial riparian area regulations. DPA number 6, Wildfire Protection Area, is a brand new DPA which applies to all properties within the town boundary to protect development from wildfire hazards. Based on current realities and rising insecurities around wildfires, this new DPA applies to all properties within town boundaries. This DPA outlines new requirements that every new development will now need. It ensures that all building materials will adhere to BC Fire Smart guidelines. It also states that new developments will need a covenant that will be required on title to ensure property owners maintain their properties. And for new subdivisions, appropriate emergency and evacuation access will need to be provided. Part 6, OCP Administration, Monitoring and Evaluation, is found on Draft OCP, page 89. This is a brand new section that outlines how the OCP will be used and how it aligns with other town policies, plans, and bylaws. This section also covers temporary use permits. The entire town is designated for the issuance of a TUP. These allow specific land uses for a set period of time when the existing zoning does not permit those specified uses. This section also includes how the plan will be used and amended until the next review. To ensure our OCP does not collect dust, a new implementation plan, starting on page 92, has been created to determine whether the OCP is meeting the needs of the community and to monitor the progress of identified action items. This is accomplished through the implementation tables found on Schedule M, page 106. It is important to note that the implementation tables do not include all OCP policies. Rather, they include all actions with a tangible deliverable and time frame. The implementation tables identify the action number, where it is found within the OCP, the action proposed, the departments that will lead the implementation, funding that may be accessed to support the action, and the action's priority ranking, which is based on community direction, capacity, and need. The OCP includes several maps and tables that provide geospatial and visual references for policies and directions. Please note that the OCP itself is considered Schedule A. So what's next on our roadmap to adoption? Once we have heard from the community, we will move into Phase 3. Revisions to the Draft 2042 OCP will be based on community feedback, legislative reviews, and First Nations feedback. The final 2042 OCP will be presented to Council and the adoption process will begin. A public hearing will be held as part of the Council approval process for any final comments from the public related to the updated OCP prior to adoption. Once the OCP is adopted, implementation of the OCP will begin and next projects will start. While we have already begun the development of an age-friendly assessment and action plan, we also plan on reviewing and updating the town zoning bylaw to bring it in alignment with the new OCP. We want to thank you for taking the time to review the updates and revisions to the Draft 2042 OCP with us. Now that you have had a chance to review the draft and the changes that have been made, we want your input. We ask that you take some time to complete our community survey. You can access the survey online on the website www.surveymonkey.com/r/Princeton Draft OCP. You can also pick up and complete a hard copy of the survey at Town Hall. Hard copy surveys can be emailed to planning@princeton.ca or dropped off at Town Hall. The survey will close on October 30th. Be sure to complete the survey and include your contact information to be eligible to win a gift card to a local business. We want to again thank you for taking the time to review the 2042 Draft OCP with us. We ask that you fill out our OCP survey at www.surveymonkey.com/r/Princeton Draft OCP. You can also find a hard copy of the survey to complete at Town Hall. Remember, there is a prize draw available for participants, and your input matters. Thank you.